Back in middle school, I was learning game development. Despite my passion to keep going, I hit a roadblock that halted my progress for a whole year. Here's what happened. Backstory. I took a Python course in the summer of 2018. Once that course was over, I was looking to learn more to make my dream of creating video games come true. First I tried Pygame, but I found it too complicated and difficult to create games with. I wanted something to easily create whole video games with, but not entirely from scratch, like Pygame. Some searching later, I was left with Unity, and I decided to learn it. Back then, Unity wasn't nearly as popular as it is these days. So I followed a tutorial by Mr. Taft Creates to make a Zelda-like, an action-adventure RPG style game. What I ended up with wasn't much, left glitchy and unpolished, but 11-year-old me loved what I had created. So I continued. At this point it was 2019, and the big new thing was Brawl Stars, Supercell's new mobile game. Everybody was playing it, in school and online, so I tried to create something similar. It was a mix of a dungeon crawler and top-down multiplayer shooter, as the two main games I was playing back at the time were Soul Knight and Brawl Stars. I called the game Armut Stars. I added multiplayer progression elements, AI enemy players with pathfinding, and even loot boxes, which I ended up removing later. In hindsight, it was not very good, especially the sprites. No shading, no proper animations, nothing, just look at this. The name also didn't make sense. Armut means pear in Turkish. Here's some gameplay. At this point, the next step was adding online aspects. One of my friends had mentioned how he always lost his save data when I sent him a new version of the game to test, and how he hated losing progress in video games. Inspired to create an online experience, I decided to implement cloud saving. Having only used player prefs before, which is Unity's local saving system, I had no idea how to create online saving. I researched online and browsed through tutorials. I installed XAMPP and tried to create something by following a tutorial, using databases and PHP. The problem was, I had absolutely zero experience in backend development back then, or really anything other than simple Python and Unity. I was making progress, but the serialization methods were weird. The security probably would have been bad as well. In fact, I found some old code, although I'm not sure how good it is. After a while, I got stuck. I could not continue developing. So I stopped. Logical thing to do here would be to give up and start a new project. But I did not do that. Every time I wanted to open Unity or start a new project, I was reminded of my failures. I tried to continue with Armut Stars, but I simply couldn't. All the way until I moved countries and finally started a new project, over a year later. So where was the mistake? Firstly, I bit off a lot more than I could chew. I had no business creating a whole account authorization and online saving system from scratch, back when I had absolutely no backend experience. This was also my second Unity project ever. I didn't even know my way around game development yet. More importantly though, I got stuck on the project. When a project doesn't work out, you have to scrap it. You can't just get stuck making zero progress for so long. Start new, smaller projects and keep it consistent in order to continue improving and eventually build great things. What can we learn from this? It is essential to start with the basics when learning a new skill or programming language. You can't just jump in and start by creating something huge. Also start with simpler, smaller projects. Having many small but complete projects to show others is great. You build a portfolio and it's a whole lot better than what I have, with tons of small unfinished projects that were supposed to be big one day. So that's it. Hope you learned something. This was Additional RAM and I will see you later. Happy coding!